podcasting pal. Getting ready to launch Sip and Talk. You know we love diving deep into stuff, and this time we're going to help you nail that intro.
Okay, cool.
And we're taking cues from a fellow content creator and a major Sip and Talk fan.
Oh, nice.
You know him?
Yeah.
Micky.
Oh, from Mickey-to-Life?
Micky from Mickeytolife.
Love that guy.
So Micky's got this super casual, chatty vibe in his videos.
Yeah.
Which, like, totally aligns with what you're aiming for.
Yeah, it's like grabbing a drink with a friend, you know.
Okay, so picture this. Micky kicks off his latest video.
Yeah.
And he calls his intro segment his favorite and the most boring.
Oh, wow.
I mean, talk about a memorable hook, right?
Right. That self-deprecating humor is just brilliant.
Yeah.
It just sets this lighthearted, relatable tone right off the bat.
So think about how you could adapt that for your podcast.
I mean,
Like, what if you started with something like Welcome to Sip and Talk, where the conversations are unscripted and the topics are, well, let's just say we like to keep things interesting.
I love that. Playful energy. You've got that playful energy that drives people in.
Thanks.
Now, remember how Micky casually mentions sipping on Brewlab's White Mist?
Mm-hmm.
It's subtle, but he's showcasing his personality while creating this relaxed atmosphere.
Yeah, it's like, hey, come hang out with me while I enjoy my beer and chat. Totally effortless.
Exactly. So think about what you could bring into your intro. Maybe you're sipping on coffee, tea, or even just water. The key is to make it feel natural and part of the conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
Ooh, I'm already picturing myself like a giant iced latte.
Love it.
Okay, next up, Micky throws in this comment about needing notes to stay on track.
Uh-oh.
Now, Sip and Talk is all about those free-flowing chats, right?
Absolutely. So why not use this difference to your advantage? Imagine saying something like, hold on tight because on Sip and Talk, we ditch the script and let the conversation take us wherever it wants to go.
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, now Micky starts talking about this upcoming trip to his sister's place, and
This is where things get really interesting. He's planning to open this super expensive bottle of alcohol, like seriously pricey.
wow.
And he even teases the idea of a live stream.
So how could I adapt this for Sip and Talk?
Think about dropping a subtle hint about a future episode, maybe with a special guest or a particularly juicy topic. It's all about creating that anticipation.
Yeah.
You know, giving your listeners a reason to hit that subscribe button and come back for more.
A little mystery goes a long way. Now, Micky briefly mentions being a bit cautious about swearing on a live stream since he prefers to keep his channel pretty clean.
And this is actually a great reminder for you to consider your target audience.
Right.
Think about their expectations and how you want to position Sip and Talk in terms of language. A quick acknowledgement can go a long way in building trust and connection.
Totally agree. It shows you're mindful of who you're talking to. Now, Micky gets into this whole thing about the beauty of raw, unscripted content and compares it to other, more polished YouTube channels.
Ah, yes. This is where you can really hammer home the unique selling point of Sip and Talk. You're not about perfection. You're about real, spontaneous conversations. Imagine saying something like, if you're tired of overly produced podcasts and crave something authentic, then grab a drink and join us for some unfiltered fun on Sip and Talk.
Okay, I'm scribbling down notes as we speak. That's gold. Now, last but not least, Micky highlights how his channel is more consumer-focused, unlike those expert-driven or salesy ones out there.
Bingo. This is perfect for differentiating Sip and Talk. You're not here to preach or sell anything. You're just two friends sharing experiences and connecting with your listeners.
Exactly. It's all about that relatable, everyday perspective. Now, let's shift gears for a sec. Micky suddenly jumps into this whole decluttering thing, comparing his own experience to this minimalist video he watched.
And this is a perfect example of how Micky seamlessly weaves personal anecdotes into his content, keeping things engaging and relatable. It's like, hey, I'm just a regular person who also happens to be passionate about whatever.
Right. It's all about those shared experiences. Now, this minimalist dude sounds pretty intense, like giving speeches about getting rid of everything.
Yeah, he's a bit hardcore, but Micky pulls out this gem of an insight that our memories aren't tied to physical objects. Pretty deep, right?
Totally. And it ties back to this idea of letting go, which could be a cool theme to weave into your podcast intro, especially if you're talking about everyday life and experiences.
Absolutely. It could be something subtle like, join us as we declutter our thoughts and share a few laughs. See, it all comes back to Sip and Talk.
I like that. Okay, now brace yourself. Micky takes a sharp turn into the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Whoa, talk about a change of pace.
Yeah.
While geopolitics might be a tad intense for Sip and Talk.
Yeah, maybe save that for another time.
Exactly. But it does highlight an important point. Even casual conversations can touch on sensitive topics, so it's worth thinking about how you'll navigate those waters in your intro if you choose to address them at all, that is.
Good point. Always good to be mindful. Now, Micky mentions this journalist Piers Morgan, who's been interviewing people from both sides of the conflict. But even Micky admits that some folks find Piers a bit biased.
And this brings up a key point about media literacy. Every source comes with its own perspective and potential biases. It's something to be aware of as you navigate the world of content creation.
So true. Now, Micky seems particularly struck by a scholar who argues that peace should always be prioritized over justice. It's a really thought-provoking statement.
And it raises so many questions. Can we always achieve both? What happens when those two ideals clash?
Right. And Micky connects this back to the idea of an eye for an eye, that cycle of retaliation that can be so hard to break. He even compares it to something he's observed in China, where actions that provoke international backlash are often met with claims of victimhood.
These are obviously complex issues, but it's clear Micky is wrestling with these ideas and trying to make sense of them, and he encourages his viewers to form their own opinions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He doesn't shy away from the complexity, which is admirable. Now, while you might not be tackling geopolitics on Sip and Talk, you can still create space for thoughtful discussions and respectful debate.
Absolutely. Even lighthearted conversations can spark deeper thinking. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here.
For sure. And you know what? Before we wrap things up, I just want to give another shout out to Micky from Mickytolife. His channel is a treasure trove of inspiration, and he's a huge Sip and Talk fan.
Absolutely. Make sure to check him out and maybe even share your awesome podcast intro with him once you've created it.
All right, ready for the grand finale? Let's dive into the final tips for crafting that perfect Sip and Talk intro in part 3. Okay, so we're back, ready to put those finishing touches on your intro for Sip and Talk.
Yeah.
So what are your final thoughts?
Well, we've gone over like humor and personal touches, weaving in those anecdotes.
Yeah.
And even like navigating those trickier topics. It's all about finding what feels really authentic to you.
Right. Now, Micky wraps up his video with a classic, "My beer's gone" announcement.
Oh, yeah.
So that got me thinking, should you have like a signature sign-off?
Ooh.
Something that like leaves your listeners wanting more.
I love that. Yeah. A memorable ending. It adds that extra polish and it creates a sense of closure.
Like what?
Maybe it's a toast or a quirky catchphrase or even just a simple "until next time."
Ooh, I like that. Something like, "Cheers to good conversations and even better company. Catch you on the next episode of Sip and Talk."
Perfect. See?
Yeah.
You've got that warm, inviting energy. It makes people feel like they're part of the conversation.
It's so funny because I was just thinking, I was like, we're not trying to mimic Micky exactly.
Exactly. It's about taking inspiration from those techniques and then making them your own. It's like adding your own special spice to the recipe.
Exactly. So play around with, different intro versions. Experiment with what feels natural and engaging. And most importantly, don't be afraid to have fun with it.
Most importantly, let your personality shine through.
Yes.
That genuine energy is what will truly connect with your audience.
Absolutely. You got this. Go forth and create that amazing intro.
Yeah.
And hey, why not share it with Micky and the whole Sip and Talk community?
Yes.
We'd love to hear it.
We can't wait to see what you come up with. Cheers to you and your podcasting journey.
Catch you on the next episode of Sip and Talk.